the hours that you spent there, you got the absolute most you could do done. And it was difficult. Like, I found myself hating it, but I guess I really wanted to keep going, like ingraining that work ethic, and to like introduce that to the other, like my university lifestyle, and really get that bang for your buck, I guess. Like when you spend that time, you do it well, and get the most out of it.
Hey guys, Rob from A Life That Travels. I'm with Hugh Maxey, sitting in the Virgin Australia Lounge in Canberra. This has been pretty cool, hasn't it?
It's been very cool. It's been great.
Mate, tell me about working with livestock.
Working with livestock, it's some people would say it's easier than people, but once you work with livestock for a long time, it is something that takes a lot longer to learn. Just because with people you have that communication, like you're able to communicate verbally with those people, but with livestock it's a lot about body movement, and takes in a lot more different factors. Just like say like a blind person has exceptional hearing, your body movements make such a bigger difference when working with livestock rather than communication. So you've got to focus on that a lot more.
Isn't that fascinating? I've never. That's why one of the reasons we decided to start filming. I've never thought about that before. But so that's obviously taught you a lot about your own, body language and movement.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, like working with horses and that sort of thing, like had quite a strong background working with horses. When you sort of go up the ranks and working with those more difficult horses, like the young ones and less trained ones, or ones that sort of are a little bit more difficult to handle, it really, your mentality towards that, you almost feel like they can sense what you're feeling. They have like an enhanced sense of to be able to analyse you and how you're feeling about what you're doing. So to be able to remain calm through that is really important. And especially just because of the potential for like real harm through that interaction with the animals. Like I've seen plenty of people like come out not so good from those sort of things. It makes you really understand what you're going into and how it makes you become really rational, and how to best go through with that program. So you're always looking to like what you can do better, and it's just very rational. Like it's very thought through, and I'm not sure.
Super interesting. You're obviously not from inner city Melbourne.
No, not quite.
How'd you get into like doing this livestock stuff?
Yeah, so I grew up on a farm. It's about 150 kilometres west of Dubbo, in New South Wales. My house is just next to the outback New South Wales sign.
Nice.
So I've got a 10 kilometre backyard, and it's
nice.
quite amazing to great place to grow up.
What's it called? What's the name of the place?
The name of the place?
Yeah.
Wayamba.
Cool.
Sorry, that's my farm name.
Yep.
But the town is Nevertire. So.
Nevertire.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. And so, where are you now? Because you've moved somewhere to study.
Yeah, so the start of this year, January, I moved to Gold Coast at Bond University to study commerce, and met with a major in economics, and really enjoying that.
Awesome. Tell me about Bond. So when I was at Bond recently, and I did a uni review video, but it was like middle of term break, so there was nobody around.
Sure.
So tell me what it's like to study at Bond.
What the most sort of profound thing that stuck out to me about Bond was the really sort of work hard, play hard vibe. Like people didn't sit still. They really went out and enjoyed themselves, or they went out and worked hard. And you sort of really see that the people that spend the most time in the library really make an effort to go out and meet people and enjoy themselves as well. And that was really, that's sort of, I went to a few different other universities and wasn't completely sold on the university idea beforehand. I was quite against it and had planned out a whole year of stuff that I wanted to do before I went to university. And after going to Bond and just realising that culture, I wasn't really sure where my career aspirations laid, where I didn't have an exact plan of where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, but I guess I just knew that Bond was the right place to do whatever I wanted to do.
What else made it sticky in that sense? Like you tried other unis and you're like, this is not really for me. Something obviously like got you stuck there? Like, work hard, play hard. What else?
Well, it's
Stunning campus. I mean, unbelievable.
beautiful campus.
Amazing facilities.
Yeah, I guess they do something and they do it well. No one does like a half-assed job. They get in there
Nice.
and they make sure that they do it as best they can do. Like a real focus on the creating like the best outcome.
Yeah. And incidentally, like number one or two university in the country for student satisfaction.
Yeah, student satisfaction.
90% satisfaction, unbelievable. Yeah.
I think they've had it for 13 years in a row.
Oh,
number
wow,
one.
yeah, there we go.
Absolutely. And completely understandable. Like they do everything that they can to create your experience at that university as amazing as it can be. Like really focus on like the study and the outside of study areas to just make it the best use of your life. Yeah.
Nice. And so what have you been doing up there work-wise? And we can talk about other stuff downstream, but work-wise, you've had some interesting work experiences up there.
Yeah, no, I have.
Just before we got on camera, I was like, this is going to be good to chat about.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had a few jobs throughout the year. I like to just try out new different things, but one of them was I was working in a warehouse, just sort of stacking shelves, and that was an interesting experience. And now I work at a hotel and really sort of waiting and bartending sort of stuff.
What's been the difference between those two jobs? Because it sounded from what you're saying off camera, like there's been like a night and day experience that you've had there.
They have been very, very different. They coming off a farm, like I was very used to the physical hard work and the long hours and doing things quickly and efficiently. So when I started working at the warehouse, I kind of enjoyed it. It was good, hard physical work like I was used to growing up. And so I enjoyed that. And so the first couple of weeks it was all alright. Like it was a tough job, and I were very ready for bed at the end of the day. But after that,
it's good work though, isn't it? Like
work ethic, absolutely. The hours that you spent there, you got the absolute most you could do done. And it was difficult. Like I found myself hating it, but I guess I really wanted to keep going, like ingraining that work ethic, and to like introduce that to other, like my university lifestyle, and really get that bang for your buck. I guess like when you spend that time, you do it well and get the most out of it. So that was for a little while. That was really nice. I didn't enjoy it, but knew that it was going to be good for me. And then it sort of, there was a fair few management problems, and that weren't really prevalent at the start, while it was during the calmer stages of the business. There were a few cracks starting to appear, like mismanagement and miscommunication with other people, like the different faculties and departments, that sort of thing. And so we felt I would often redo a lot of the jobs that I had done, because the management would change, and then
they changed their mind.
The miscommunication, they would change their mind. So I'll double, triple, like almost 4 times handle the same products and rearrange them, put them onto different shelves and like different assortments and that sort of thing. And that really, they spoke a lot. I found that like the management was really hypocritical, and they spoke a lot about efficiency and working hard, and that was good, but they didn't really have a focus on doing it once and doing it right. Like they quickly put things up, and then like because of the high volume, you had to redo a lot of those things many times.
You know, in our businesses we call those zombie tasks. It's like tasks
absolutely.
you can't kill. You kill it once and it comes back, and you kill it again and it comes back.
And after the first sort of few weeks of doing that, you're like, well, why do I bother doing this? As a good job, we're going to move it anyway. Like we're going to, it's not going to be right. Someone's not going to be happy about it. Like I'm trying to use the communication between was not very good, so I tried to use my own intuition to create like what you hope that the top management wants, but they just didn't communicate well, and then you would have to redo it a few times.
And it sounded like they were kind of not accepting the fault of their own there and putting it back on staff.
So when the sort of crunch time came and the workload sort of built up, there was a lot of pointing fingers, and that's something like I'm really against, like
lack of accountability, right?
Exactly right.
Not
so bad. Blame avoidance. Blame avoidance is the word I'm looking for, to be able to like when there's a fault, I always like to look within myself first, a bit like Man in the Mirror, the Michael Jackson
Nice,
song.
yeah.
It's a favourite of mine.
Awesome.
And so just before you go out and blame other people, like think about, obviously like there's, it's a two-way street. There's things that you could have done better, things that your boss could have done better, that sort of thing. But I feel like the easiest way to move forward then is to make the changes within yourself first, to be able to learn from that. And basically like that continual learning, like whether you're the boss, whether you're the employee, there's definitely neither are perfect, and there's plenty more you can do to try and achieve that. And so when the time really came and the cracks sort of really started to open, there was really poor management, and going into the commerce business field, I didn't want to be around that sort of management style, and so
that's really, you're going to talk about the next job in a moment, but I think that's so important, right? Because when you immerse yourself in an environment, like it or not, that rubs off on you.
Yes, exactly right.
Mate, like, on a story, I worked at my student union at my university when I was going through uni, and there was an expression inside the student union which was, make it somebody else's problem. So literally, whichever section you were working in, let's say you found a bucket of old mop water, rather than you going and emptying it and putting the bucket away, you literally, your job, like, make it someone else's problem, just wheel it down to somebody else's section and leave it. And that was just like, I literally did that for years. And in fact, once I started working and realised how twisted that was, God, it takes a long time to actually work yourself out of those bad habits.
And in a business like where you work at the same job with the same people, like same community, like getting that community right is really important. Like a mentor of mine who said that you need to be a good person and a good in business. Like you can't take a lack in either two, because like it just doesn't work. You need like it really, who you are outside of work and who you are within work is really overlaps. And makes a big difference within the organisation.
Totally. Now, you just said you'd gone on to work in a hotel.
Yeah.
What was and you were saying it was an amazing experience.
Absolutely.
So what makes an amazing experience in a workplace?
Basically,
and in managers, I guess, like specifically, saying managers you didn't like, not accountable, passing the buck, like losing their temper, rework.
Absolutely.
What makes a good manager then in a good workplace?
He definitely had a different way of going about things and made it their priority to help you do your best work. So as a boss, you are looking after all these people and they're looking to you. So your job is to help them do their best job. And when you go to work, you're there for however long you are, and often the time you want to get in and do the best work you can do. Like a lot of people go into jobs not looking to butt us around, but to do the best job they can do. And so they provide you with that go and ambition, and it's your job to stimulate that and help them do their best job. And so definitely like the communication with what you were required to do, and also like just plenty of other like employee benefits as well, like looking after your employees. They look after like your customers.
What kind of benefits are you talking? I imagine it'd be probably a range of like small things and big things too, right?
Absolutely. So
it doesn't have to be like a $10,000 bonus at the end of the year that makes a difference, right?
They do help, but
of course,
yeah, like it, and that was an extra bonus. But when you get when your boss works hard for you, you work hard for your boss. Like it's very like a two-way street once again. We found that like in the old job at the warehouse, when you had the opportunity to slack off, you would take it, and you would very much so slack off, and you're like, well, I don't deserve this. I'm gonna, like, he doesn't treat me well. I'm not gonna look after him. Like, he's not scratching my back very well, so I'm not gonna scratch his back. But when the time came at this new job, when there was the opportunity to slack off and not to do your best job, people often worked harder because they knew what their management was doing for them and how they were helping them, and they really wanted to return that favour. And
reciprocity
in that hospitality, in the hospitality industry, there's a lot that you can do that isn't really quantifiable, qualitative, and that you can't really measure. And like people really found like would work hard to ensure that those just the little things that you can do to help make the guest like a better experience for them.
Yeah.
And people like would really work hard to perfect that. And through, like as Richard Branson says, like customers don't come first, it's your staff that comes first, because then they will make sure that your customers come first. So I really felt like that was really important and implemented in that business.
What advice would you have? You've obviously got a good work ethic, you know, and to remove yourself from like a toxic environment. Yeah, like I really think it's one of the best things you can have in your entire life. So congrats. But you know, what advice would you have for somebody who knows they've got a problem with this? Because I don't think anyone, you know, we're saying once again just off camera, but I think people want to do a good job, and everyone recognises when suddenly they're not doing their best work. You know, or they're taking the piss. So what advice would you have for somebody that realises, like, oh, hang on a second, I'm like taking the piss here. For them to be more accountable to their work.
Sure. So within their certain job?
Yeah, within their job, or within themselves. Like, 'cause in the end, it's intrinsic, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess it was
to want it more, like to want to do a better job.
Yes.
Firstly, if you're in a shit job, quit it. Done.
I guess that's where I was going to start. Like, where I guess don't settle. If you, it's difficult because I was only at that warehouse job for a little bit before it sort of turned downhill. And so, like, it's difficult to see if you were in a job that was good for, say, a few months at a time, and then it started to gradually go downhill, and those slight changes sort of weren't really noticeable, and then you kind of get to the bottom, and you start to realise that, oh, like, maybe this isn't the place for me. A lot of people tend to settle because they said, well, I'm not sure if it's going to be outside of that, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get better than that. Like, I guess like the bird in the hand is better than two in the tree. I guess they sort of adopt that attitude, which is kind of a very dangerous attitude to have. But I guess,
and that there's something very powerful in human psychology, which is fear of loss is far more powerful than prospect of gain.
Yes.
So your fear of losing what you have, scientifically proven, psychologists have done endless experiments on this. Endlessly more likely to avoid a loss than to take a risk to have a gain.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, what you're saying is very true. People are like, oh, this place is going downhill, it's not the same.
Yes.
And they end up settling for it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
and what else?
Basically the two ingredients I feel that you need to do well is an attitude and an environment. And whether that sort of attitude, environment, and opportunities, and the environment and opportunities very overlap, I guess. Where if you're with good people who want to go far, it definitely stimulates you to do the same. Like, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around the most.
Tim Ferriss.
Yeah. Exactly.
You listen to Tim Ferriss?
Yep, I'll do a little bit.
In the show notes, or check out it's going to be in that corner up there. There'll be a little card that just appears there. It'll link you to Tim Ferriss. You must get involved in him. He's awesome.
Yeah, very smart.
Good job. Nice. Love it.
And so, that's, I guess, the opportunities link with the environment, and the environment also then link with the attitude. And
nice.
So how, I guess, maintain, to be able to achieve like the best that you want, you have to have those 3 absolutely as high as you can.
I love it, man. If somebody wanted to look more into this, like attitude, environment, opportunity, like read more about it, think more about it, discover more about it, what is there any resource or tool or book or video that you would recommend people to go watch or engage with? Or is this just something that's come to you organically?
Normally more self-reflection. I couldn't really nail it down to one particular. Although Greg Behrendt, he is an American who he has like a few job titles, but he has a very short. It's actually a stand-up comedy sketch that I came across, and I'm a very big fan of him, and like engaged with his podcast. He's soon bringing out podcasts, and I'm very excited for that.
Cool. We'll drop that in the show notes, so we'll look that up and make sure to drop that
like
down.
That. Yeah, it's on Spotify, and
Cool.
I listen to that every now and again.
Good. Awesome, mate. Like, super good to chat with you.
Absolutely.
And so
Same to you, Rob.
we're just wrapping up here. New Colombo Plan. You've literally just been awarded like Australia's top scholarship for university students, and you're off to
Japan.
Japan,
Yeah,
sweet.
so September 2020, I'll head over there for about 16 months.
Amazing.
It was quite the. When I got the news, it was quite amazing. It was great to hear. Yeah.
I'll put the link up the top there to the New Colombo Plan, and Hugh, I can't wait to
definitely
talk with you
recommend.
when you get back, mate.
I
Thanks for
appreciate
chatting
your time.
today.
Thanks
Cool.
very much, Rob.
Take it easy.